Hello, Ashmedi. This is Dimitris calling from Chicago and Metalkaoz. How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you very much. How you doing?
I'm doing great, especially because it's been a freaking long time since we had new Melechesh music. Why?
I don't know. You know, uh, I would say quality over quantity, but fuck this quality. I mean, it's 10 years or something. It's too much. Yeah, well, Enki came out and we really did a lot of touring, a
Mhm.
lot. Like in Europe, I think in Europe it was around 10. But when you tour, the last thing on your mind is, for me personally, I just get focused on that. I come home, throw the guitar away. I'm not thinking
Mm,
about new stuff. But there were other issues which were a bit personal. You need to have the right state of mind
of
because
course.
some bands it's a mechanical way, like a business or a job, or disciplined way. I don't know that they compose even. There's a formula maybe. I don't know, but for me, the way it works is if you're not feeling the right mood, yeah, you can compose and it might be good, but you need to feel like you need to feel a sense of sincerity, and you feel it in your stomach to be able to compose sincere music. It's kind
Mm,
of like that's the way I do it. And since I'm managing the band as well, there's no firewall or something. If you encounter something toxic or something, it affects your writing, which is not good, and it delays. So between touring and that, then COVID came.
mhm.
Then after that, we went to the studio like 4 years ago, and it didn't work out in the studio. There were delays there, and yeah, so it was. There's a lot in between of that. A lot of things out of my hand. When we came to the intentions of making, when the time came to think about going to studio or making an album, things were delayed, and it was not in my hand.
Okay,
It
okay.
was a series of things in a row.
So it sounds that a lot. And although I have to comment, I like that you said that you write music when it feels right. However, you do understand this goes beyond, against the current state of the music industry, where we need more
I know.
new music every day.
Well, someone told me just make one good song. No one listens to the rest. I'm like, I don't know your experience, but when we do something, our fans analyze everything, never underestimate the listener, respect them. Yeah, some people will listen at the surface, good for them, but some people will go through everything, never underestimate them,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
I agree.
And I know from the reaction of the people, like they almost, I feel like there's a connection because they get into my head, or I got into their head, in
Mhm.
our own, without preaching to them. We haven't met. So I like that connection, that we have that feeling that came from nowhere. So it's good to be sincere about it. People are not stupid. They'll figure something when it's not sincere.
I cannot disagree with you, man. So we have Sentinels of Shamash. Is this the new face of Melechesh, or how does it feel? Because the band has been around for more than 3 decades.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, technically now it should be 33 years, which, we're metalheads. We look at patterns and we're nerds. So like, oh, cool, 3-3. Anyway, no, it is the face of the band now.
Mhm.
Every period is it. We are us every time, it's not, and whatever happens later happens. The band is the entity, it's an entity now, and it has its own sphere of sound. It could be having a little psychedelic, it could be the most raw black metal, it could be thrash, but it's all within our sphere of sound. We can do whatever we want there,
Mhm.
and it's representing a period of time. So this is who we are at the moment, and there's a mood in the music, a sense of retribution, a sense of anger, a sense, it's there because that's the mood
Yes,
when I was writing, and that's cathartic. That's very healthy, I guess.
it is. And speaking of trying to find meaning in everything, in my mind, when I saw 33 years, I thought the age of Christ. So I said, okay, they are releasing music on the same amount of time, on the same number of
Well,
years.
yes, that's what I did when I started as a side project in 1993. I said in 2006, around the time of Easter,
There you go.
and
Even more.
yes, so there might be COVID that will delay us, so don't make an album. Wait and then release it, because I was in Jerusalem and us in Jerusalem were all mystical people.
Hmm.
And and I was, by the way, my family are also, they're not, they are expats. They came to Jerusalem, as expats, business
Hmm.
companies, whatever. And I was born there in the international community, but they're from the secular but Christian background. So I was baptized, and I was baptized in the Aramaic church, Assyrian Orthodox church. It's supposedly the house of one of the apostles, Mark, and
Hmm.
it's supposedly one of the places of the Last Supper. It's not far away from where Jesus was crucified. So I was baptized in the Aramaic language in the house of one of the disciples, the place of the Last Supper, in the old city of Jerusalem. But I ended up doing the first black metal band there, so it didn't work.
Well,
Yeah,
you are like Anu and Anzu, right? The yin to the yang. You have to have the two.
yeah. Well, Anzu is a thief. I'm not a thief.
No,
No, but
I,
yeah, yeah. No,
sorry, I
no.
didn't
But
know
what I'm
that.
saying,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. No, Anzu is, he stole the tablets of fate. He's a demon.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, when they say, "Oh, he'll be baptized and stuff," and each of, I think later, years later, I went with like my grandmother. She was visiting to the River Jordan, and they did symbolic baptism. I'm like, "Fine, I'll swim." I went to do it too. So baptized in the River Jordan, baptized where Jesus had his Last Supper. I ended up doing the first black metal band in Jerusalem. So baptism didn't work for me, and I'm living proof.
Or
It,
or it
it did.
worked.
It did the opposite,
Or it
or
worked.
it worked. It
You never
worked, and
know.
this is the way. My children.
Um, so
Yeah.
we said you started writing music. No, you started writing music in 2024, right? Something like that.
No, I wrote before. It's just some songs were written before. We readjusted
Oh,
them, but we needed to have an EP out.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
because of
where
the
I,
delays. Yeah.
where I was leading with that question was when did the band sign with Raining Phoenix Music?
Oh yeah. So in 24, I went to do Maryland Death Fest, and we did all the recordings in Germany for the EP, but I didn't do the vocals yet.
Okay.
And Rob Caggiano, he's a friend of mine, and he did guest appearance. He did a guest solo on Enki, and
Hmm.
we've known each other from the Emissaries days. He likes this kind of music, or the Emissaries album. I love Anthrax, and he was playing there, and we kept in touch. So when I went to do Maryland Death Fest, we all hung out together. He came with us, like we took a road trip from New York to Maryland. And after that, he said, "How about you come to my place in New Jersey?" He has a studio, and he recorded all the vocals there. And then we didn't finish, but I had to go to Los Angeles. I had some stuff to do there, and I actually have my aunt there. There's a booking agency there. So I had to go there. And when I went there, he said he had some projects there, and he booked extra studio days to continue the vocals.
Hmm.
But meanwhile, I was going to meet Gerardo, because he used to be in our older label. It has nothing from Raining Phoenix, and it has nothing to do with this story. We're just going to meet.
Yeah.
But then I told him, we have the EP, and we're turn, we're not on the label and stuff, the previous label. And he's like, "This is an amazing opportunity." We were meeting anyway, so we just made it a few days earlier at the office, and it was logical. The EP, so it was recorded. The vocals
Hmm.
were recorded, most of them, and yeah. So after Los Angeles, went back to New Jersey to continue the final finishings of the final stuff, finish up with the vocals. And then Rob, he also plays all the
The
bass
bass.
lines. Yeah, and he did some a bit of rearrangements and in shadows and light. He put his own knowledge in doing the best vocal outcome in recording. He plays fantastic bass, and then We took everything back to the studio where we recorded in Germany, Kohler Keller Studio, and they mixed everything and mastered it. So I tracked most of the EP in Germany, and then the vocals and the bass were done in USA, and then everything was back in Germany for being mixed and mastered. But the timing took a bit longer than it should. Not because of us, it's something to do with distribution, the ideal perfect time to announce everything.
Yeah.
So it was now. Yeah. So the EP was recorded. The mixing finished up somewhere in the summer, I think. Yeah, in the summer it got finished, the mixing. So yeah, and that's how we got on Raining Phoenix. So it was ready, and the best time to release it, it was supposed to be around September. For distribution reasons and blah, 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 it was ideal now.
And there I am asking you why the delay, right? You took the
That's
album in
no,
so many
yeah.
places.
That's the story of my life. So many places, from having so many backgrounds, never standard person, born in this country, speaks this language. The first language I spoke was French because I was like 2 years old in Senegal, Africa, with an
Okay.
African nanny, and it was a French colony, so they spoke French. What do I have to do with French? Why? I don't know. My family are Armenian, and Aramaic. They came from Turkey, and I don't know those languages. You know what I mean? But I
Yes.
do speak Hebrew, Arabic, English, French, Dutch, and a little bit of German. And so nothing makes sense, but it does make sense. You live on Earth. There's no rules
Right.
except what people limit themselves in boxes, but that's their own limitations.
Oh yeah, especially nowadays. But let's not go there because
Yeah.
it's a
Hmm.
huge can of worms.
Yes, of course, of course.
One thing,
Sleepwalkers.
that I have to comment, and if it sounds insulting, I hope it doesn't. These Meleches have the bizarre effect on me. Maybe it's my Greek DNA. It makes me wanna dance. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. I tell you why. Because you're hot-blooded and you have a booty to shake.
There you
No,
go.
no. There's a perfect logical explanation. Metal is like a tribe.
Mm,
Mediterranean music is tribal music. Tribal music is primal. When
yes.
they wanted to express something, they moved in unison, like ritualistically.
Hmm.
That's the dance part. It's not dancing in a disco.
No,
It's
no,
more
no.
going with the wave, the motion that takes over, just like sound waves do. That's called
Yeah.
dynamics. That's the tribal part.
Yes.
So you're
Yes.
perfectly right to do it. And that means you have warm blood in your veins. So you're not a walking corpse.
Thank you for that, and I agree because you have the
Mhm.
percussion that sounds,
Mhm.
leads you to that state, and then
Yeah, yeah.
the riffs go up and down and create all these emotions. This is why I missed
Yeah,
Meleches.
yes. Yeah. The headbanging is part of that tribal ritual, but it's
Hmm.
more. It's just, it's dynamics. It's dynamics. It's tribal dynamics. And it
Yeah.
goes to the subconscious level.
Yes. Speaking of some subconscious level, what information did you give to Nestor Avalos to create this awesome artwork? Because
Yeah,
it has
yeah,
so many symbolisms, right? Of course.
yeah. The worst, not worst, the worst thing for me as a person in the band, my career, I don't like photo shoots or video clips unless I have a big budget. Then I express it because you're trying to represent all your existence in a moment in the hands of someone else.
Mm,
And sometimes the budget is overlooked and stuff. So I don't like that. And I don't like posing for a photo. I've met musicians, they don't care about the song and they practice. I'm like, what the hell? They're all like, already, I'm like, oh my God. Like, you talk to them, they're looking behind you at the reflection on the tour bus or in the mirror, like looking at themselves and they're ready for the photo. Like, oh, this is what I've done. This is my moment. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
I hate it. I'm like, God damn it. Why the fuck can't we just go on stage and play? But you need to represent yourself and communicate. And it is an art form, photography, videography, and I love it as an art form. But we are in the underground business of metal and
Mhm.
music. They focus more on the album and the music. So once you focus on that, it is a pleasure to do. So you need to trust who you work with,
Yes.
and you got a lot of back and forth, you know. So with Nestor, he's done for us merchandise in the past. I did meet him in Mexico while we were on tour. I think it was 2019. Actually, the tour T-shirt was one of his designs. Anyway, we always toyed around the idea, so I'm like, let's try it out. Uh, and I hope it's going to represent us. We give elements of lyrics or song titles, moods. I send images, stories,
Mm.
take you to that world, invite you to our world. And together, back and forth, we start doing it. But you need the person's imagination that's invoked when they listen to you,
Yeah.
and it needs to align. If it goes somewhere different, so it worked out actually. It was reaching like, are we there or not? And he's like, just give me a week. And he went crazy. I don't know. He took off work or whatever. It was 24 hours working on it. And then he gave us the final result. And I'm like, okay, you are there. Fantastic. Bravo. Hats off. Yeah. And it's, it's a risky thing when someone can represent all of your existence. So you need to communicate well. It worked out.
Yeah.
Well, at least
Yeah.
I hope so. I'm getting good feedback on it. So
No, it's Melechesh, absolutely. And you
yeah,
have the all-seeing eyes. That's
yeah,
Shamash, I
yeah, yeah,
guess. And you have the
yeah, yeah.
wings. You have all that, all those elements.
The
Um,
wings of Anzu. Yeah,
yes.
cool.
So who recorded the drums? This is something I couldn't find the information
No, we mentioned them in the
in the press release.
in shadows. Yeah, in shadows and light when they send the press with all the info. It's
Okay.
there. He's a young guy from Athens. You see, uh, what I do is I write all the drums, and you need someone to execute it right and let me coach him. When they say I'm a man, woman's body, and stuff like that. I'm a drummer in a guitar player's body. uh, or when there's that relationship, let's say in sports between the coach and the sports person.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
sports person can run twice the field back, but the coach knows what to do.
Yes.
So I will coach the drums, but I can't sit there and just like do blast beats and stuff like that. So you need someone who knows how to play,
Hmm.
but is willing to absorb this information. I would take you, if you know how to drum and you're enthusiastic about it, I will take you, we'll lock ourselves in the studio, and you'll come out, you'll sound like Melechesh, and you go, how the hell did I do that? So it's a guy. He toured with us, like he toured with an opening band. He's from Athens. He lives in Athens. His name is Nikitas, and he's a good guy. And we decided to work together. And I gave it a lot of time
Hmm.
to jam. A lot of people have just too many bands, and that's always hurting everybody in the end. So I needed
Yeah.
to find, like, if you're playing too many bands, I said just don't join us or anything. But we needed to look if that's gonna work out for the recording. So I booked like an you know entire month of rehearsals, not every day, every other day, let's say. I think the schedule was, because you need to work at home, adjust stuff, then come back to the rehearsal room. And before that, we just did some jamming together
Hmm.
and got to know each other. So we worked on the stuff, and he absorbed it. And when we went to the studio, together we worked on it. I was coaching him the parts. He has the skill, he has the energy, and he had a blast. He enjoyed it. I could see the joy in his eyes when he's drumming, and I'm like, that's so good to see. Yeah. So it's a guy from Athens. Yeah.
But the current lineup, the band that will go on tour, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, it's him as well. Like
Okay.
the idea. Okay, yeah, I didn't say it the right way. In the beginning, when I first met him, was as our live drummer.
Okay, got it.
That's why. Yeah, I'm like, why am I talking about schedules? Because of that, we were talking about schedules. So I'm telling him, look, we need to be available for gigs and stuff. So let's jam together. Let's see how it flows. He played the previous songs very good. We
Hmm.
did some shows together. When the time came for recording, I'm like, okay, let's book the rehearsals on a longer term and see how it works out.
Got it. Got it.
ADHD, I'm everywhere. I am, well, it's almost like quantum ADHD. You're back and forth, left, right, up and down at the same time.
well, not like the Schrodinger's cat, right? We know, no, maybe it's the same thing. We don't know if Asmeda is here or is not here.
Look behind you.
Oh,
I am there. Oh, I am.
everywhere.
I'm on the. No, I was saying it as a joke, but there's the vinyl, so there. I'm not.
In the seventh verdict, you have Jessica Pimentel doing some guest singing, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
did
yeah,
this
yeah.
happen?
Jessica, I admire her. I admire her character. First time I knew about her was she's acting in the AMC show Orange is the New Black, and I love that show. It's
Hmm.
about female prisoners, like a prison for ladies, and I loved it. The writing is good, the directing is good, and the actors each one had their own persona. That's a good show, and I liked her role. Then I found out she's into metal and stuff, and she did later. We got in touch together, and we got to know each other. She did stuff for Bulgaria. She has her own band, had her own band, and she's active in the music. And it just came about because I wanted a female vocalist to do the screaming because there's Ishtar in the song, you
Hmm.
know. So she kind of took that role, Inanna Ishtar. And I wanted someone who's not about being a poser, being genuine, being a real artist, being very passionate about whatever she does and struggles in the name of art and performance. So I respect that in a person. I like that kind of character, and I like her vocals. So I mean, so I'm like, how about you do the guest vocals there? She did. She did a wonderful job, and I'm very satisfied with it. And it's always nice to collaborate with fellow musicians
Hmm.
because it just broadens the horizons. We do our thing, but you add a little bit of collaborations to keep that little tradition in music, in rock and roll. When it comes from the jam sessions when people
Yeah.
collaborate.
Yes.
So that I like to keep that tradition somehow. It keeps that little spice, I guess.
In Shadows in Light, you say, few will open the third eye. So, does awareness isolate the individual, or do you see knowledge as a burden as much as a revelation?
Yeah, it's that you know you develop your character from youth, you destroy, you rebuild.
Mm.
I got a higher education. I did the leadership classes in the MBA with peers who are very admirable characters, with ethics and stuff like that. And you learn from that way. And through the reading and the occult and philosophies and stuff, you start opening more perspectives and being a bit of aware of your surroundings or
Hmm.
behaviors and patterns. And you think it's good, but eventually you get alienated and it becomes a burden. And sometimes I have PTSD and stuff. So sometimes when I'm alienated and seeing things or predicting them, I would tell people, look, this is what's going to happen the next step, and I'm not going to interrupt it. And this is what's going to happen. Or listen to me, that's the next step. This is what's going to happen. I'm trying to save you the headache of saying hindsight.
Hmm.
And then shit happens, but people won't listen. So you stop mentioning it. Or you have intuition when you see someone, I have feelings, like exactly. I would tell them like, who told you, like that. So you feel alone or alienated or you panic sometimes.
Yes.
It's not a good idea. Believe me, ignorance is bliss.
Is bliss. Yeah.
But there are periods where you see the whole picture kind of like in a helicopter view.
Hmm.
When you're looking like laboratory mice in a maze. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I mean, like, I'm just trying to make the picture smaller.
Yeah, yeah,
You look
yeah.
up and you see where they're going to go. So I see the patterns and very quickly, and you just continue with your daily life. But you learn how to live with it, but it's not always pleasant. So the third
Most
eye as a concept is not always a good thing.
most of the times it's unpleasant, to be honest.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I will draw a parallel here, like what's happening right now in the world. It has happened in the past,
yeah. It's
and we
crazy.
can say with some certainty what will happen in the future. But still, people go ahead and do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
frustrating.
democracy. I'm not going to go there. It's a beautiful thing, democracy.
It is.
But What is democracy? It's supposed to say, this is my opinion, that's their opinion, we agree more to this, next time it's your turn, or
Hmm.
prove.
Yeah.
But not when you're misinforming the people, or people are ignorant and not getting the tools yet abusing the system. That's not democracy. You
It's
understand me?
not.
When people are not properly informed,
Yes.
or they don't bother to get the information, it's right there, the information. Like you said, they don't bother. So, and then democracy is abused through miscommunication, false flags, advertisements, bots,
Yeah.
trolls.
Yeah.
Then that's not democracy, because you're not putting the facts, and the people are not interested or are misinformed. So, it's almost like saying a vicious cycle and a virtuous cycle, or a vicious circle and a virtuous circle. So
Yeah.
this creates a vicious circle or cycle, not a virtuous one. So in this case, democracy would be used against us. But so sometimes you need, when people are like that, like in some countries, you need something called a benevolent dictator. That means a person who sees the whole picture
Hmm.
and only wants to do the good for people, like, only good, till the people will not be in that cycle of misinformation, lying, and partisanship. So, but anything in the hands of people, because there's many opinions, there's many people with agendas, and there's many that follow blindly,
Hmm.
um, will get corrupted.
Yeah.
So I think the world needs a council, an unbiased big council of intelligence plus a quantum computer to work together.
That's a lot to ask, man. A
Yeah,
lot
but
to ask.
for decision making, you know, for decision making. But what's happening now? It's like it's too easy. What's going on? It's scary. Yeah.
Yeah. And one comment on this. I believe that humans, as we are right now, we are not ready for democracy, for the real democracy. We cannot. We cannot.
Yes, exactly, exactly. I mean, um, yeah, it is too easily manipulated, and the age of reason is gone. There were
Mhm.
periods that people wanted to adhere to ethics or ideas, even if they were not good for them, but they would stick to it. Nowadays, it's just too easy to go like this. Look, that's
Yeah.
it. This move just erased, and it would cause a big tsunami of terrible things. By this, look, or it's a lie. I saw it on TV or on my phone. I saw it on my phone. You're stupid. You don't agree with me. I hate you. You know? Oh, I won. You see the smile in them when they win the argument. They're like this.
Yeah.
I want to lose an argument. I don't want to win an argument. It's not a sport. It's exhausting. Actually, if you convince me something and you show me the right answer, I'm like, wow, I didn't see it that way. Thank you. Show me
No,
the
no,
source.
that's not
People,
what's going on.
yeah,
If you do
but
that, I will hate you.
like, people want to win no matter what. I'm like, well, it's not. What's the prize?
um,
You know what I mean?
there's no
Nothing.
prize, man. No prize.
Yeah, it's
We
just
will we will
and
pay at the end, both of us.
yeah, no, I know, but not usually, even in political cycle and going to extremists or populism. It's known the people who elect end up losing money. Even prices go up, less jobs, and the person. It's known. It's written. There's a blueprint.
Yep.
Step
Yep.
one. Step two. The enemy from without. Step three. The enemy within. Then always mention babies and pets. They kill our babies. That's why there's always stories. They kill the pregnant, take the baby out,
Uh,
because there weren't visuals. That's why people go the most things that are touching the emotions. It's all step, 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 step. Attack the media, silence this, silence the opposition, centralize power. It's all the steps. If you can't attack them and imprison them in a certain world, then you go with them with financial attacks,
yeah.
and continuous. These are all written down. It's people study it, but the other people don't know it's happening, and that's
Sp-
scary because it's there, the information.
Let me recalibrate the discussion because I know you don't want.
Yeah.
No,
No, I don't
let's.
want to talk about it, but and by the way, I'm not talking about left versus right, up versus down.
No,
This
no,
is
no, no.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a human thing, and it happens anytime. So I'm not being specific. I'm like, these are the things that people need to be aware of. It's common sense. It's not this is right, this is wrong. it's all about just being common sense. If you're a bit conservative, if you're a bit more, it's all fantastic. Everybody used to get along like that.
Hmm.
You understand me? So it's about
Absolutely.
common sense.
And thank you for saying that because, yes, somebody listening to you may say, oh, he's on that side or that.
No,
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 there are
not
no
at all.
sides. All sides can be good as long as we communicate about this and talk about
Listen,
this.
not only that, the ones who are on the extreme fringes, they have more in common. So an extreme left or an extreme right, they
I
have the same
agree.
characteristics.
I agree.
So I always say, like, maybe they should divide the world with thought processes.
Yeah.
So they have more in common. Actually, they might get along eventually. It's like, you think that? Yeah, I think that.
So, in the band's official site, there is, a page that pops up and says fans can support the band.
Yeah.
So, can you talk about this? How can fans support
Well,
and what
no,
can they
well,
support to do
I
for
tell
YouTube?
you, what happened is we didn't do a crowdfunding. That started already when we were having a situation with budgets and incident in the studio that drowned the budget, and we didn't come up with the solution we want. But then it came because we had to step away from touring that period. We
Hmm.
needed a new music to tour with. That we needed to supplement the process, but we managed now to do it, and we want to use the support for things that do not fall within a budget from a label. For
Okay.
example, visuals on the stage. For example, stage costumes. Stage. We want to improve that. We still didn't adjust the text. Basically, I need to adjust that. That if people want to support, like they want to see a bigger visuals on stage. I have a project to visually represent the band in a video.
The short video that you
Um,
mentioned, right? The short film.
yeah, exactly. These things I would love to do, and there's no party that can say I'll invest in it because
Hmm.
there's no
Profit.
financial return. Yeah, there is no. There was a long term return that is a better visuals, better concerts, better expansion of the band. So it's a long term thing. So it doesn't fall within a category, but it does fall within a category. Would you like to see this? And if, like, for one person a euro, but then there is nothing. But when there's a thousand of those, it becomes something. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
we
absolutely.
ask for that, but we still move in the trajectory. Meanwhile, the label that with the new deal, they did provide a budget for recording, but it doesn't address those issues, and it shouldn't. It's not part of the scope.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, but the wording needs to be adjusted about that because the moment we posted that, we were in between the label situation, and
Right.
we owed the previous label a budget because there was a portion of it gone in a
Mm.
studio that didn't produce anything.
Right.
And then what? What do we do? That's all gone, and we still need to bring an album. So hopefully this is being solved, and it's solved. But we need to address the stage presence, the costumes, and hopefully, if we reach that, better investments in visuals like video clips and stuff.
Mhm.
So, but we didn't openly go for it. We didn't tell the press. We just posted that page and we
Right.
put a link to a PayPal or something. I
Yes.
don't remember.
That's a bank
We
account and the PayPal. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we need to like fix that and just put all the options and announce it on a broader with specifics what we need. Step one, two, three. I think we put it there and we didn't pursue it more in social medias or press releases. But
Okay.
we do need the support for things that are with the economics of a band like us. It's hard to achieve, yet it will be great to achieve because we're here to create art, and it's cool to have the visual supporting it
Hmm.
within the means of within the financial means of the band. So the costumes, some props which are practical props you can move when you're touring,
Touring.
and
Yeah.
a short film. Yeah, exactly.
So fans, just to be clear about it, fans can still use those links and support the band.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because what happened through those, it enabled us to fly and do the EP and stuff.
Mm.
because the studio wasn't asking for money at the moment. The studio said they heard what happened to us, that we'll support you. Later on, we'll deal with it.
Right.
Whatever happens, happens. But we still need to travel. We need to arrange stuff. We need to rent stuff. And it helped us achieve the EP. And whatever comes extra, we'll put it on the side to aggregate it for the visual aspect. But
Okay.
we didn't go. What I'm saying is, we didn't go full blown information to the people about this.
Right. Right.
We just
Got it.
put it as a pop up and we left it there. And you know, websites are not the number one source of news nowadays.
No,
Usually it's
they're
through
not.
social media. Exactly. So we put it there on the side and say, soon or one day we're going to do a proper launch. And we didn't do it yet, you know, like
Okay.
proper announcement that this is happening. But here's a good platform to start that, actually.
Two questions, and we'll let you go. So,
Mm.
is the seventh album on the making? Where are you? Where are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I do have 4 songs, maybe a bit more, but I like to change stuff, rewrite, you know, and I like to give space for more ideas to come.
Hmm.
This is discussed between myself and the label. It's not like up in the air. It is, we are aiming that around this time next year,
Hmm.
more or less 2-3 months, you know, to enter a studio to record an
Right.
album. You know, not to release or something. So yes, it's in the works. Um, the writing should be faster, but there are circumstances now we need to deal with. Like, I don't want to just use my older ideas. When I say older, in the last 3 years,
Okay.
I want also now, you know, so I'm always giving space to change. For example, in Shadows in Light, it was going one direction. And then in the last few months before recording it, the whole middle part of it, which is space, just came on the spot, you know?
Hmm.
So you have space to rewrite things, you know? You got to be flexible with yourself. Otherwise, you're stuck. The song wouldn't represent you where you are now. So it needs to always be a little bit adjusted, but you got to be careful with that.
So this means that the songs in the EP are will not be part of the new album.
That's the whole thing. If they would, we were done. We have songs already for a
Right.
full album. So I don't think we're going to put them. Maybe rewrite one, maybe do a part two of one. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
reincorporate. Yeah. So maybe we can because like Raptors of Anzu, for example, there's another version of it with a
Oh.
second ending, you know. It's not mixed. It was recorded as well in the EP. So maybe that will be there, or maybe they'll be put as a bonus. So when we do an album, preferably like all the songs there you never heard, or maybe there's going to be a version of one of the songs put there. But yeah, it's completely different songs for an album.
Will you release the EP on vinyl?
Yes, the EP will come out on vinyl physically whenever we hit the road on touring.
Okay. When is that
And
happening?
then, well, we don't know yet because of these delays. The gap to have ready a tour, to have prepared a tour, passed the deadline.
Yes, of course.
So we're thinking about next year, and then we say maybe a full tour is good with an album, mini tour before that. Now we're just doing some bookings for some festivals that are already not fully booked, you know.
Hmm.
But it will be out for the road, on the road, on touring as a vinyl. And I think there is talk in the future to have like the album out, and maybe then there's going to be a version with an album with a bonus vinyl as
Special
well, you
edition.
know.
Love it.
So it will be on physical, but this is not the time for it.
Okay, got it. When Melechesh will come to Chicago?
I don't know. We talked with our American booking agency about when to come. Now because of the date of the EP release, we were hoping that if it was released in last September,
Oh
we would
yeah.
have been by now a tour booked. You understand me? So
Yes,
then now
yes.
the summer comes, so everything got pushed, and it wasn't in my. So like a 3-4 month push pushes all the
Everything.
touring plans. So I would have answered you if we did this last September. This is in September. I would have said around April. That
Okay.
was the original plan.
And
So
that would have
it's
been a
hard to
lie though.
explain that. No, it would have been the truth if it was coming out
Right, right.
that
Yes,
time.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that
Excellent.
then the booking agent could have had a tour this April, but now it came out now. It's hard to see when is the right time because maybe this time next year we'll be recording,
Hmm.
maybe to wait and then do a tour. So we're still adjusting. We're seeing the feedback. We're seeing the climate, around us, what's going on. But
Excellent.
we that doesn't rule out doing festivals and stuff because that's a completely different logistical
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
issue.
course, of course, of course. So then let's meet next year. Let's see Melechesh here in Chicago. I hope don't change the timeline, man. Don't wait another 4 years. I will come for you.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. It's not in my I know,
Okay,
dude. It frustrates everybody, including myself. Yeah,
I
I
understand. And
try.
no more super glue on your fingertips when you play guitar, right?
Actually, I have some here, but that's because I was fixing something and it
Oh,
spilled. I'm
okay.
like, I'll go like the good old days.
Excellent. Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
All
Have
right.
a great rest of your day and see you
Yeah.
whenever you come here.
Take care, my friend.
Bye bye.
Bye.